All right, what's up? What's up? It is extremely late, but I cannot sleep, and you and I need to talk. All right. Um, Here's the deal: when you are doing a credit sweep, you cannot be doing the CFPB and online disputes and basically everything that you're not supposed to be doing, you are doing. And I've been talking about this week, and I'm not sure how many people are going to see this. It is 2:47 a.m. and it's probably just going to be my truck drivers. I have many truck drivers who don't watch but listen, pay attention to the road while you are driving, okay? But whether you see this now or whether you see this later, it doesn't matter. This is the information that you need to have so that you can achieve success and write dispute letters that get results with the credit bureaus. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because there's nothing but a bunch of frauds here on YouTube. Yes, I said it. And you know what? I have been doing this for over a decade. I've been doing this for 12 years, virtually 10 of which have been here on YouTube. I didn't wait for the pandemic to happen to just pick up a book and say, oh, you know what? This is going to be a lucrative business. I should blah, blah, blah. No, I've been doing this for over a decade. This is all I do besides consulting and building software, and I prove every day that what I do, the way I utilize my strategies, gets results. And if you just took a little bit of time investing into, not monetarily but time-wise, into watching my videos or downloading my free downloads and whatever, then you would also be able to get results. Okay, so we are going to talk about a couple of things. I do have my iPad here, so if I have to draw, I will draw for you, even though I think it will come up backwards. I'm not too sure. But anywho, I'm surprised there are 21 people here right now because it is so late. But again, I cannot sleep because, look, normally I would have been asleep 3 hours ago after I put my kids to bed and all that kind of stuff, but there's so much going on right now, not just in the world, and I'm not talking about politics and all of that, although I could go on and on for hours about that. There's so much false information out there that, like, okay, I will be the bad guy. If you need me to be the bad guy, I will be the bad guy for you so you can get the truth and achieve, again, success. So we went over this when I went live a couple of days ago. I think it might have been Sunday or Monday, but here are a couple of things that you need to stop doing that you are probably doing, and we're going to go over why and what you should be doing instead, okay? There's videos out there. There's gurus out there that get hundreds of thousands of views, okay? It pops up on my feed. I don't know why. I never clicked on them before, but it's false information about all you have to do is go to the CFPB way before you ever went to the credit bureaus and basically just submit a CFPB complaint, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. If you do that, you're going to go in a pile of consumers who just, they don't pay attention to them, okay? If you are submitting CFPB complaints before you ever put that letter out to the credit bureaus, then you did not exhaust your remedies, you did not build a paper trail, you cannot prove violations, and what the hell are you complaining about when you didn't even go to the credit bureaus first, okay? There's a better way. There is a permanent way. There's a legal way. And yes, I personally do the credit sweep. Okay, a credit sweep is not where there's like a police report and that, affidavit. I don't have my clients commit perjury and fraud, okay? That is not something that I have my clients do, and I don't do it for them, all right? You should not, if you are not a victim of identity theft, you should not be submitting a police report. What are you doing? What are you doing? There's people who I get on the phone with every single week who tell me that, oh, this should only take, a couple of business days because we're going to do the police report. Oh, wait, are you a victim of fraud? Because you didn't tell me you were a victim of fraud. No, I'm not a victim of fraud, but I know that all I got to do is do the police report. No. People go to jail, actual jail, in handcuffs for committing fraud. If you look at the actual affidavit, it literally says under penalty of perjury and up to a year in federal prison. That's a federal crime. Y'all think that these are paper crimes. These paper crimes put you in jail, okay? I got in trouble for wire fraud. How did I get in trouble for wire fraud like a million years ago? Well, it's because I did something online. We're going to talk about that a different day, but let me fill you in on just a little bit of how this whole federal system works. You see, about 15 years ago or so, I worked with a company that sold CPNs. And out of the thousands and thousands of numbers, 8 of them had the same genetic sequence as Social Security numbers. So obviously the feds thought that everybody was selling Social Security numbers, right? Obviously that was not the deal, but the feds don't know about CPNs. Again, conversation for a different day, but all of these things are going through my mind and I have no filter at 3 a.m., okay? So the problem with doing these things online and creating CPNs is that you are literally committing a crime when you fill out an application to attach that CPN to that consumer's information. That's how you create a CPN, right? You have Bob's information, right? And then you have to attach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the CPN to Bob's information. The way you do that, one of the ways, I'm not gonna tell you all of this stuff, all right? But one of the ways is by doing an application with big banks like Bank of America or for an auto loan or whatever. You have to do 3 of them. And now that information, that number, that CPN is now attached to Bob's information, right? So here's the thing. When you do that, if you go and you look where it says, what is your Social Security number when you put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that's not that person's Social Security number. That is a CPN. And that is a federal crime. You are literally committing whatever wire fraud by filling this out online falsely, right? So I got in trouble for that 100 years ago, but the feds don't care that these things are paper crimes, that there's no real, victim or whatever. You're like, oh, these people have insurance, blah, blah, blah. It's not gonna, look, the feds don't care about it, and they come knocking at your door. Obviously, I was exonerated. You can go back 10 years here on YouTube with my 1,700 videos. I didn't get in trouble. I mean, initially I did, but I was exonerated because you can't continue to work in the financial industry if you actually did something wrong. Think about that for a second, right? So everybody wants to talk shit, and people got all sorts of everything to say about it, but hello? Why don't you listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth? I've been there. I've done that. If you think about doing something, I already did it. I could tell you all about it, okay? And yes, CPNs are 100% illegal. I don't care about the FBI website saying that they are legal. They are illegal, okay? Just go talk to my guy at the FDIC. They are totally illegal. All right. So again, we're going to talk about that a different day. I just slipped that in here, but these paper crimes are actual crimes, and the cops are going to come knocking at your door, and you are the one that's going to go to jail, okay? So if you're not a victim of identity theft, do not do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? Again, there is a better way. There's a faster way. There's a legal way. And let's just say that there was no crime, right? Let's not even talk about crime. You're going to spend 2 years saying, I'm a victim. No, you're not. I'm a victim. No, you're not. I'm a victim. No, you're not. Because the credit bureaus and the data furnishers know for sure that that is your account. That's your account, okay? So would you rather spend 12 months going through what I call the credit loop, or would you rather take a handful of months, like 4 to 6, to legally and permanently remove your negative items? I know the answer to that question, and it's, yeah, I would rather take a handful of months and basically just do what I gotta do to get my negative items off. Okay, so no police reports, no affidavits. That is not the way that I do it. The way I do it is custom factual disputes, okay? If it is on the credit report, I will use that information from the credit report, and I will create a dispute letter, a dispute reason from that information. And you should be doing the same thing. Stop using those letters that you find in, I'm not going to name the software or whatever, the software, plural. But all of these templates, look, they've been used 100 million times before. Don't you think that the credit bureaus have seen those letters? And there's always someone nasty that's gonna say, oh, well, you really think that the credit bureaus know that this letter has been sent before? Yeah, they do. I don't know if you went to college, but there's a system where, you write an essay and they scan it in, or now everything's digital. So all they do is press a button and they can tell whether that essay in whole or part was written before or submitted before by someone else prior to you, right? The credit bureaus have a system just like this, except for when you write the credit bureaus, they are actually going to scan that letter into a system by a machine. It's actually a machine that opens your envelopes, a machine that reads the letter, a machine that converts it into 2-3 digits, which is the eOscar codes that then get sent over to the data furnishers. But the entire point here is that those letters, every single letter that gets sent out to the credit bureaus that they receive goes into this system. And so they're going to know that, yeah, someone else sent that letter before, so it is a template, and boom, automatically verified as accurate. There was no investigation. Speaking of accurate, verified as accurate with no investigation, you need to be disputing your personal information first, okay? So for every single account on your credit report, there is an address that is also attached to that account, all right? And that may seem really simple, sound really simple, but you guys are disputing without going after your personal information first. You should be on the phone with the bureaus. You should be disputing those addresses online, and you should be disputing them by mail. Yes, I told you to dispute online. Yes, I told you to call the credit bureaus for your personal information only, okay? I have many videos that teach you exactly what to say, how to say it, when to say it, and with whom to say it. So we're going to skip past this, but the entire point is, and I can't tell you like, hey, slow me down if I'm going too fast because I turn off the chat when I'm live. But here's the deal. Your information is attached to your your accounts by a geographical code. And we have to get rid of that geographical code. Once we get rid of that geographical code, we can get rid of the address. Why? Because all of the credit bureaus do, and this is done by a computer after it reads your letter, instead of sending your information over to the credit bureaus, it is actually going to check to see if your address, if there's an actual address that belongs to you that is attached to that account. If there is, boom, automatically verified without any investigation. That is why it is so imperative for you to first go after your personal information, okay? So many people are not doing this. They're skipping this step, and you're basically, you're adding like 6 to 12 months just because you didn't take one step to dispute your personal information. Again, I have a ton of videos about this, and it's so simple. But if you want to get results, if you want to write disputes to the credit bureaus that give you nothing but success, then you need to learn how to read a credit report. That's number one. Number two, technically this is number one. The first thing that I said is technically number two. You need to get it from the right place. If you're not getting it from Identity IQ or Smart Credit, then you're not getting it from the right place. My links are down in the description. It's real simple. sendme2.co/Identity IQ, all one word, and sendme2.co/Smart Credit. You can see all three of your bureaus side by side, your scores, all the information that you need, and now we can go and we can look at our accounts, right? If you don't have the proper information, you cannot dispute correctly, and proper preparation prevents poor performance, right? Right, okay. So now that we have our not our personal information, but our credit report, and we've already done our personal information, we need to look at our accounts and determine which of these parts of the account is going to give us the best possible, opportunity for removal. This is where my hierarchy comes in. I show you exactly what to look for, the blatant inaccuracies, the violations, where to start, the date last paid, the date last reported, the notice of dispute. I teach you all of these things. If you can master that, then you can look at any credit report. You can literally go and look at any credit report and be like, boom, that's the thing that's going to get it off, all right? If you are not able to do that, then you need to go back to step one and learn that hierarchy. So if you remember, back in Sesame Street, they teach us one of these things just doesn't belong. And that is the way that I approached this when I was learning factual-based disputes, because there had to be a logical way to look at a credit report and know what to dispute. And that is how I was able to figure this entire thing out after getting certified, board certified as an expert, A-rated with 6 different organizations. Yeah, I do my homework. I do my research, okay? So I'm not saying that just overnight you're going to be able to figure this out the way that I've been doing for 12 years, but I am telling you that when you put the proper amount of time and invest into yourself and into learning how this whole credit thing works, you'll be able to remove anything. Collections, charge-offs, repos, foreclosures, bankruptcy judgments, tax lien, personal information, inquiries, late payments, you name it, that's on your credit report, you can legally and permanently remove it, but you need to understand what an account is supposed to look like. Let me give you just a handful of examples. And this is very, very, very simple, but it's going to allow you to get results. Number one, a closed account should not have a monthly payment. Closed account should not have a monthly payment. If you have a charge off or, again, a closed account and there's a monthly payment, that is an inaccuracy. Not a violation per se, but it's an inaccuracy. This is a violation. If you dispute and the credit bureaus within 30 days do not put the notice of dispute, consumer disputes, dispute by consumer meets FCRA, blah, 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 then now we have a violation of FCRA 623A3, and if it's with the collectors, FDCPA 8078. Okay, you can use these violations to remove your accounts. And why does this work? Y'all want to say, oh, well, they didn't respond within 30 days. I have a violation, and they're just going to remove. Look, these things wouldn't go on your credit report if it were as simple as, hey, they didn't respond, blah, blah, blah. You cannot prove that they did not respond. Go ahead and try to sue the credit bureaus for not responding. How are you, my friend, going to prove that they did not respond? They're going to go, their representatives, and they're going to be like, hey, judge, you know, whoever, Judge Sally, yeah, it shows right here on X date that, yeah, we responded to Sam, and so you want to see our printout? Oh, no, this has been dismissed. Okay, all right, have a nice day. That's exactly how that would go. But what if you did have proof of a different violation that occurs over 90% of the time? Then you would have ammunition, right? This is all about putting the cards in your favor, right? So what I'm talking about is exactly what I just told you, the notice of dispute, okay? So again, when you dispute something and it is, excuse me, and it is not on there in the comment section within 30 days, then now you have this violation, and the way that you prove it is very simple. You have credit report number 1, okay? And the notice is not there because you didn't dispute yet. You have your letter 1, you have your certified mail 1, and you have your return receipt 1. You also have, from 31 days after they receive that letter, credit report 2, proving that they received the letter but did not enter the required notice of dispute. And we know this because we have certified mail 2 and return receipt 2, and we have letter 2 where we wrote and said, hey, there's a violation, FCRA 623A3, you need to remove this, yada, yada, and they don't do it. Take him to court, you have all the proof. And it doesn't matter whether this has a balance of $500,000. The balance doesn't matter. The account doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's yours. None of these things matter. The only thing that matters is that you disputed, they didn't put the notice, you can prove it, and that's it. That is it. That is it. That is it. 100% of my clients who went and sued over the 12 years that I've been doing this have all won these lawsuits, because again, we're not going after, you know, oh, this is not mine and blah, blah, blah. Oh, well, yes, it is. None of those things matter. The judge isn't going to ask you if it's yours, okay? So yeah, you could take them to small claims. If you want to learn about that, you can find it at, this is my guaranteed deletion debt validation dispute method. It's a mouthful, but send me to .co/shop.vod, as in validation of debt. Okay, so if you are sending out these templates, you need to stop right now. Like I said, the credit bureaus know that you are sending out a template and they're going to deem it as frivolous. If you are sending out your disputes without a notarized identification verification form, and you can get the link to my drive to get this letter totally free, no email, no nothing, in my last live, not my playlist live, but my actual last live where I'm here talking to you, and in my most recent 2 videos, okay? You need to get this notarized, and you need to bring your ID and your proof of address. And you need to send all 3 of these, ID, proof of address, and your notarized identification verification form with, like, literally out with every single letter to all 3 bureaus, if you are obviously disputing with all 3 bureaus. Why? Because they're gonna think that you're working with a credit repair company. Okay, why does that matter? Well, it's called third-party mail, okay? If you've ever done time before, you would know that third-party mail will get your ass in the box. What does that mean? It means that you can't have letters coming, to you that you're then gonna give to someone else and yada, yada, yada. So this is exactly the same with the credit bureaus. There's a exclusion for credit repair companies. So if the credit bureaus think under section 611G credit repair organization exclusion that the letter's coming from a credit repair company, you are screwed. You're screwed. Sorry. If I live in New York and you live in California, we are separated by 3,000 miles, and yet I am sending out your disputes from 3,000 miles away. So what does that mean? Does that mean that you moved to New York? No, because you're using a proof of address from 3,000 miles away in California, right? So that tells the credit bureaus that you're working with a credit repair company, right? Right. Okay, so you need to know about this because if you are with a credit repair company and they are not using the notarized identification verification form to send out your disputes, then boom, you're screwed. You're not removing any negative items. If you are sending out your letters, you also need to send that out because that is their number one tactic, and we don't want to just wait to see if it's gonna happen, okay? So that is something you need to do every single time. All right. Now, let's backtrack for a second. When you are looking at your credit report on the actual account itself, you need to know, again, what to dispute first, second, third, fourth, blah, blah, blah. I give you all of the resources. I reopened my Atomic Credit Repair course. I should have said this a little bit earlier, but I reopened my Atomic Credit Repair course, which is the credit repair course on steroids, for another 24 hours because a crap load of people blew up my phone, not my phone per se, but my chat that comes to my phone asking if I could reopen it, and I reopened it for 24 hours. You can find it at sendme2.co/atomic. The link is down in the description. Why am I telling you about this? Because you are disputing wrong, and if you want to get results, you need to dispute the right way. The right way is learning A through Z exactly how to dispute, what to say, when to say it, with whom to say it, in what order, and basically everything that goes with it. And I give you all of this, my whole decade of doing this, everything that I've learned condensed into a course. But it's not just that. You see, my credit repair course on steroids is currently $299, but my Atomic course is the credit repair course on steroids with a crap load of bonuses. My deep dive dispute workshop, my Dispute Pro masterclass, my credit bureau stall tactics session. There's a bunch of stuff now. My credit sweeps playbook 2, my, when I say 2, I'm talking about the number 2 because there's a number 1, my how to remove late payments playbook. They're all in there, and that is why it is the Atomic credit repair course, and you're going to want to access it right now because again, I opened it for another 24 hours. It's at sendme2.co/atomic, and it is only $169. Okay, so look, you can get results. You can remove these negatives. Every single thing that's on your credit report can be removed. You don't have to ask me, can a collection be removed? I'm going to say yes. Can a bankruptcy be removed? Yes. Can this be removed? Yes. Can that be removed? Yes. Can this be removed? Okay. Look, every single thing can be removed, but it's not going to come off if you are just ambiguously sending out arbitrarily all these different letters that do nothing. If you want to move forward with 200 additional points, you gotta do it the right way. Speaking of which, if you want to see if I can personally do it for you, go to my740.com, schedule a call with me, and I will see if I can help. It's really, really simple. And we do a call because I choose every single client for my program. You can find me all over. My videos go back a decade. There's 1,700 of them, but the one thing you cannot find is the link to sign up. I have to personally give it to you. Okay, I think I'm running out of steam now because we've been doing this for 23 minutes. It is 3:12 a.m. and I said what I had to say. There's a bunch of bullshit here on YouTube with all these gurus that are telling you to do all these things that you shouldn't be doing. Again, like the first thing that I said, going to the CFPB prior to exhausting your remedies, or using CPNs, sending out templates. All you gotta do is XYZ. There is no all you gotta do is XYZ. It wouldn't go on your credit report if it were that simple. It is not that simple. And if you go into this thinking that you can jack up your credit for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, and that all of a sudden you're gonna spend 30 days, fix it, and move on with your life. You got another thing coming to you. And the longer you dispute, the harder it is to remove these things from your credit report. So you're just gonna be digging yourself that hole, and it's gonna go down and down and down and down. And you're gonna be like, what the hell? How did I even end up here? Well, you ended up there by not doing what you should have done and investing into learning how to do this the right way. And again, I'm not talking about like financially, monetarily. I'm talking about going to the right people, right? Watching the right videos, learning from the right courses, okay? So can you get 300 points? Yeah, you can get 300 points. Can you get 200 points? Yeah, you can get 200 points. Can you go from a 380 to an 800? That's very unlikely, but you can do it. My biggest credit score increase was almost exactly 400 points. I mean, come on now. It was literally like 400 points. If you go to my playlist and go to client results, there's, I mean, a ton of videos, but one of the most recent ones is that 400 point credit score increase. I show you the before report, I show you the after report, and it will blow your mind. You see, I don't Photoshop anything. I literally log in to either Identity IQ or Smart Credit. I show you the before report. I scroll, I click, all that kind of stuff. You can't do that with Photoshop, all right? So don't believe all these people and whatever when they're like, oh my God, I got all these. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. That's not your score. That's not even, that's a fake report. That's a fake person. That, like, what? What? Really? No, I don't think so. So, if you have questions and you want to know how to specifically do something, you need to drop me a comment, because maybe I will make a video about it, and maybe it'll be the one thing that will allow you to legally and permanently remove your negative items. Now, you can't comment on this because I'm live, but you can comment on any of my other videos. I answer virtually all of my comments. And I say virtually because sometimes I am extremely busy and I cannot get to all of them, but I do read all of them. Anywho, I hope you have a wonderful evening. I hope you are safe. If you are driving like most of my truck drivers listen to me while they're driving, make sure that you actually are listening and that you are not watching, because I want you to stay safe, all right? So that is it for tonight. I hope you have a great one. If you need help, go to my740.com. And if you want to learn how to dispute like a pro, the A through Z, again, the link is sendme2.co/atomic, or you can just pull up the description right now. And it is literally that very first part of the description. Just click on it. It'll go right there, all right? But that's going to give you everything that you need, nothing that you don't, the basics, the tactics, the letters, and not letters to use as templates, letters to understand the structure of how to dispute that specific negative item and situation, okay? And there's also an app including it, but it's not live automation. Live automation is a tool that I built on Google Sheets that is literally better than sliced bread, okay? It does everything but barbecue. It's basically the Kirby vacuums of credit repair software, tools, apps, whatever, but it is not included in that. There is more like a baby great grandchild of live automation that is part of that. So it's not going to do all the awesome stuff like, the macro recording, the automation, and all that kind of stuff, but it will help you to create dispute letters. So anywho, all of that is included in that. Go check it out right now. Sendme2.co/ yeah, told you it's late. Sendme2.co/ atomic. I'm going to go now, and I hope you have a great one. I will